and welcome everybody to today's podcast episode. And I would love to introduce to you a very special connection I made in the past few months. It's Leanne Kanzler from Australia, and she's a relationship coach. And I'm going to let her introduce herself because that's the best, I guess. We have met on a few occasions, but not that intensively yet. And I would love to, yeah, discuss with her all her experience. We're going to exchange our stories with each other and hopefully inspire you to take away some beneficial information on relationship and in connection to your self-worth. So that's our intention today, to give you some help and support wherever you are in your relationship today, right? So Leanne, welcome so much. I'm delighted that we found time to have this conversation.
Yes.
So please introduce yourself to the listeners.
So as you said, my name is Leanne Kanzler, and yes, I have a lovely German name, but I live, born and bred in Australia, and my dad came to Australia when he was just 20 after the war. And I am a psychologist in Australia and also actually a divorce coach. So I do see people from all areas of life, adults, including couples. And what I really find very rewarding is working with people after they have gone through their separation or divorce, because it's such an opportunity to create real growth and to help people see where they went wrong in relationship. And that often goes all the way back to childhood, what they learned in childhood and who they became through their childhood experiences, including trauma. And then how they took all of those learnings into their relationship and then blended that with their partner's trauma and childhood experiences and helped them to see why that probably didn't work and what they can do for themselves to find their own value and worth so that they can then move on into a more loving relationship that is really what they deserve, because everyone deserves it.
Exactly,
Yes.
on eye level. And yeah, great.
Yes.
Yeah, it's when we had our talk before, we already said, gosh, this is so powerful what we have to share, because I think so many people can relate to that, because in our life, it's on one side, it's the professional life, how we identify ourselves, but also within the relationship. And I think the goal of every person on a personal growth journey is to really feel this self-love within us, that we don't look for it on the outside. Well, I can speak for myself that this is my goal and my ambition, and I'm getting there. But it's just like, because when you're in at peace with yourself and have this self-love inside, you don't need to depend on others to give it to you. Look for this validation in a relationship, because nobody can provide that. Everybody has their bad days, and it shouldn't throw you off, straight away. So that is so beautiful. And to look in the childhood experience, I can totally relate to that as well with my clients, because everything they come to me for, it's always based on what happened in the childhood growing up, right? And between being born and year 7, or really really in the young childhood. So I mean, we all grow to be who we are, obviously based on our past. Now tell us a bit about your story, please, because there was a reason as well that you grew into this profession, right?
Yes, that's right. I was always a very anxious child with very low self-worth. And I really thought that I wasn't anything special in any way, shape, or form. And when I met my husband, I was only 17 at the time, and he was quite strong in his beliefs about himself and what he wanted. And for some reason, I kind of fell for that. I guess he was very interested in me, and he made me feel like I was worth something in the beginning. But because I didn't know who I was, that soon turned to quite a controlling relationship where I was told that I wasn't good enough in many different ways over many years. And eventually that led me to going to see a psychologist. And I'll be very honest with you and say that I didn't go for myself. I went because he kept telling me there's something wrong with you and our relationship problems are all your fault and you need to get help. And I thought, stuff you, I'm going. This is all your fault, but I'll go just to shut you up. And I went. And I came home and I said, the reason I'm so unhappy is because I hate my life and I'm going back to university and I'm going to study psychology. Because I did go to psychology my first year after, to uni, first year after school. And I quit to get married when I was 20.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you didn't actually pursue your real calling and that further relationship. Yeah.
That's right. And then it took me a long time to do that because I actually had a 1-year-old son at the time. And then I had my daughter when he was 2. And I had to, postpone my studies and slow it right down so I could actually be a mother. And so it took me a very long time, but it was well worth the effort. And he wasn't very supportive. He didn't like me putting my time into my studies because it took time away from him. But I somehow persisted through depression, through anxiety, through tears, through yelling, through I'm a failure and I can't do this. But I just kept pushing.
Amazing.
Until I got
Amazing. That is very powerful. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, being a mother alone is a full-time job, obviously.
Yes, that's right. Yes, it was very hard. And through doing that, I found that there was still something missing. So I continued this pursuit of happiness, I suppose. And that's when I found coaching. Actually, that was after I left my husband. So I left him when I was 38. So I'd been with him for 18 years. A very long time.
Yes.
Actually, 20 years if you include the time before we got married. And, studying psychology at university, you don't do a lot of personal inner work. That's all about people and books and stuff. And for me, that just wasn't enough. So I discovered coaching. And through that, I thought, I'll do a coaching course. And doing the coaching course, you have to work on yourself to get the qualification because you have to do practice clients, and in the training, you have to work on yourself. You practice on each other.
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
I absolutely loved it. And so I ended up combining psychology and coaching together. And that is really, by doing that, that's what really started to shift me and my perception of the world and my value of myself, because I actually started to do the work that I expected other people to do.
Right. For you. Yes, I hear.
Yeah. And then when I was dating, I could see that there's a lot of people out there who really were not ready to be dating, a lot of hurt men who were projecting their stuff of their exes onto me. And I was very fortunate to be able to see that, God, this is not my issue. I'm not your therapist and I'm not your ex-wife. See you later.
Right. Yeah, to realize that, because in the beginning we're taught to always, look in us, or we tend to. I can speak for myself. I used to look for the fault in myself. I always thought it was me. I'm doing something wrong here,
Yes. And a lot of women do that. A lot of women say, what have I done? It's all my fault. I'm not good enough. Blah, blah. And a lot of men go, oh my God, it's all the women. There's something wrong with them.
Yeah.
Exactly. I did a little research on this and found that after divorce, it's actually quite a traumatic time for men and for women. And the suicide rate for men is quite high in this time as well.
Okay.
And statistics show that around the world, it's 48% of all marriages will end in divorce. So that's really high.
That's a lot. And I think it's getting more common because it used to be so I mean, women are now less dependent financially, perhaps, than they used to. So it's increasing, definitely, no?
Yeah. And there are such high expectations of what a relationship should be now.
Mm-hmm.
We can blame social media and all the romantic movies for
Mm-hmm.
that.
Mm-hmm.
But there's this expectation it should be amazing, but no one has to do any work.
Right,
So
right.
really what I've seen is that when people do the work on themselves, that's when they have amazing relationship. Unless they were blessed to really meet someone who matches well with them in terms of their energy and everything.
Right.
But often we meet people to teach us. So if I hadn't met my ex-husband and hung around as long as I did, I wouldn't have learned that I needed to do the work. I needed to
Exactly.
step up. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think I think we're blessed because I can relate. I did the work after my divorce. And I think it's really a blessing to have that experience to go this path, right? Because many people actually either they stay there, and that's the question now for you as well. Because for you, you had kids involved. I had my kids were like 1 and 5 when I left my husband, and it was traumatic for me. It was heartbreaking, right? And that's when I went to therapy as well, because I wanted to understand myself. I wanted to know, why did I choose this partner? Why did I choose all the partners I had had to that time? And I didn't want to make the same mistake in the future. And now I have it totally, because like you just said right now I have this complete different approach to meeting people, because I don't look for something and I don't expect anything. I just know what I want. I know what I don't want. So I attract a different kind of person already, right? Because we vibrate differently. I mean, I'm a bit of a spiritually have a spiritual touch, and I love that, because we're a system. And like, even in a relationship now, talking about saving a relationship, again, also when we do the work in ourselves, either we realize, hey, he's really not for me, we're really not compatible, or we vibrate a different standing, have the self-worth, and then the person changes as well. He gets more at ease, or she gets more at ease, who, it can change the system, because we're all energy, vibrating on each other, and bouncing on each other in a positive or a negative way, right? So
So agree. And it's really important what you said, that now you know what you want. Because I think when we're young, we don't know what we want. We can't know because we haven't experienced relationship and had the opportunity to know who we are yet.
exactly.
So,
And
you know,
we watch our parents, or we watch, the relationship that we are being presented as normal. That's our norm, right? And often, I mean, it is it is a fact, I guess, but often we look for a father figure, or the way our father was, or what we're used to. We act the way our mother acted. And I mean, our men equally, no? They either they have a father figure or they don't. It all has such a huge impact in our perception of relationship, right?
yeah, we could talk about this all day.
I know, I know, but that's why, exactly. But the thing is now, for our listeners, yeah, from your experience, like, that was so hard for me. When did I decide to actually make this step? We lived in Thailand at the time. We were there 5 years, and for me, it meant packing my bags and coming back to Europe. And it was it was huge. It was such an impact on my kids' life, my ex-husband, all of us. It meant so much, but I did it. And it took me a long time, even though it doesn't sound long, but it felt. And I tried to talk to him. I reached out. I said, I'm not happy. I was crying every night. I didn't feel myself anymore. I was a different person. I was angry. I was, getting aggressive. I turned into a person I didn't want to be.
Yeah.
And that made me really, I had to leave, in spite of the children, in spite of, destroying his life, his dream of living in Thailand happily ever after. And he's here now. It's all good. The kids have a beautiful relationship to him. And however, when do we, when is this pain level, like when do we actually decide to go, or how long do we endure this pain, right? And that is based on our self-worth, I believe.
I believe you're right. And it can take a very long time. It actually took me years to finally come to that conclusion after feeling everything that you said, yelling, screaming, crying, being this stranger. Who am
Mm-hmm.
I? I used
Mm-hmm.
to be super patient, super calm. I lost all of that. Just having suicidal thoughts and fantasizing about running away from home. And what
Mm-hmm.
is going on? This is just incredibly insane. And even though I was studying psychology, I did not go to a psychologist other than that one time.
Really? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I don't know why. To this day, I could never label myself as anxious at that time or depressed. It's only
Mm-hmm.
now that I'm out of the fog that I can go, oh my God, I
Yes,
was really depressed. How on
exactly.
earth did I get through that? And
Same.
why didn't anyone say to me, Leanne, what is wrong with you? And I think because I was like a chameleon, I could just pretend
Mm.
everything was okay when I was amongst my family and friends. And all of that pain came out at home in front of my poor little kids who at the time were, well, when we told them, my son was 9 and my daughter was 7. So, you know,
Oh, thank you so much for sharing. That's really powerful, because I get tears in my eyes, because it's just so, you show yourself so vulnerable, because it's amazing, because exactly, same for me. It was, when I look back now, I can realize I was in a deep depression really afterwards, and I pretended to be fine and smiling outside, and that is so I can so relate to that. And like, because we are powerful, we show ourselves as always like strong, and
mm,
but it's not like that, right? We have to be vulnerable in order to grow, right?
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
that is so good.
Yeah, so if any, I just want to encourage any of your listeners, if that's how they feel right now, if they're hiding their true pain, then there are lots of people out there who can help you, and you don't have to suffer alone. And there's absolutely no shame in
Mm,
talking. In fact, it can save your life,
absolutely.
especially for men who feel like they just can't tell anyone, or no one's going to understand what I'm going through is so bad that I can't possibly share this because I'm going to hurt other people,
Mm,
or they're going to ridicule me or laugh at me or make me feel worse.
yeah.
And to those people, I say, please, please, please don't give up
Mm,
and give it a go. If it was your car that was faltering and splattering, you would just keep going to different
grow.
mechanics or different
Yes.
doctors if you were sick until you found a solution. And getting mental health assistance is the same. You have to find the person that's right for you.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. And it's, once you do go, like your experience, you went, or once you open yourself up to that and you reach out for help, it's the most liberating. I mean, I did a therapy at the time as well, but which didn't get me, but I much further. But then I discovered this hypnosis where we went really down, like you with coaching, really down to the root cause.
Yeah.
And that's when I really had this revelation and this epiphany that I thought, oh God, look what happened, and why. Now I understand, and understanding why you are doing what you're doing, thinking what you're thinking. That is where the power lies, right? Once
Yes, it
we
all.
once we have this epiphany and this awareness, and nobody can show you. I mean, not sometimes you can't see it, this blind spot, and you need somebody to show you. You need somebody to, some professional to point at this or go
Mm,
there with you. Yes, giving you the space and the safety and the security as well, because our mind, our subconscious mind especially, tends to avoid that because obviously it hurts. So
yeah.
we tend to stay in a comfort zone. We tend to stay in this safe zone where we don't have to think those thoughts or look at
Yeah.
these painful things that happen in the past that make us the person we are today. So once you
Yeah.
look at that, like you say, now if people, once people reach out, once you see that, it's a new life. It's, if you know, you just have a new life ahead of you. And
Absolutely.
it sounds blunt, but we only have one. It's a fact. Yeah. And it goes faster. I find the older, I'm 52 now, the older I get, I find, what? It's Christmas? Are you joking me? We just celebrated New Year's Eve,
Yes, I totally agree.
Oh, it goes so
Everything that
fast.
you just said, there's been so many people that I've worked with and taken them back to their childhood through a process called timeline therapy that I use.
Mm,
Um, the amount of people that have said to me, "Oh my God, I did not realize that that incident created such an impact on
it's
me."
crazy, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. It's
And
powerful, not crazy. It's powerful. Yeah.
so powerful.
Yeah.
And then they feel this, oh, this weight. Um,
Exactly. Yeah. There's nothing more beautiful to see that happening in someone, in our clients, right? Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. It's
And it's
really
a,
nice.
that's exactly why, we're meeting today as well, because of our similar stories. We have this parallel stories. And when I hear my daughter now, my youngest daughter is 15, my oldest is 18. And when I hear them talking about their relationship already, the little one already has a boyfriend, big love, but her friend is already at the age of 14 in a toxic relationship.
Oh,
And I'm watching from the outside and thinking, goodness me, what, but it's no, so I'm saying no matter what age it can happen, or it's so it's so normal. It's nothing to be ashamed of, whatever. But having this awareness that you are in a toxic relationship, and
yeah.
taking action and actually reaching out for help if you can't let go, because we tend to, it's like a drug, right? I mean, the hormones that are active within us are, we're looking for this familiar. And if our dad was like that, perhaps we can't let go of our partner because it's what makes us comfortable, even if it hurts us, right?
That's right. And also on some unconscious level, we're trying to heal our parent.
Yes.
And I can't heal you, so maybe I can heal this person, and that never
Mm-hmm.
works.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, young people often get into toxic relationships, it is sad.
Right.
It really is, you're never too young to work on this, so
Right.
that you
Yeah.
don't get stuck with it when you're 50 going, oh my God, it's still happening to me.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Unfortunately, there are many people, I'm 51 as well, so there are many people out there who need this work. And you're never too old either, I want to just say. I
Never.
have clients in their 60s who
Yes.
are just like, I just can't do this anymore. Please help me break
Yes.
this. I would like another relationship before my life ends, and I want it to be a good one. And
Great.
that's
Yeah.
so nice.
Beautiful. Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I think, that's the message from us today for everyone out there. It's never too late. It's never too early, never too late. It's always right. But you have to define when is the right time for you to reach out, or to take action, or to leave, or
Yes.
to make a decision. I think I have a friend as well, and they're stuck. They don't know whether they should go or whether they should stay. And in this limbo, it's also toxic. It makes us sick. Yeah. And
Yeah,
we get sick after, because we're not going here nor there. But make a decision. If you make a decision then to stay, then work on yourself, and perhaps it can work out, right?
absolutely.
Or
I
go.
like to say that we always have three choices. We can stay and do nothing, we
Mhm.
can stay and do something, or we can leave.
Exactly. Yeah. Brilliant.
Mm.
That's a beautiful final message for our talk today. Thank you, Leanne, so much, for meeting. And yeah, I'm going to put your contact in the show notes, and then people can reach out to you if they need any help, and
Yeah, that
in
would
a
be
relationship,
wonderful.
if you're stuck and just want to chat. I'm sure you offer a consultation call to get to know each other. And
Yes, definitely do that via Zoom, and we can accommodate the time difference.
yes,
Not a problem.
great.
Yes. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much, Leanne. It's evening now for you. It's late, so I'm going to let you go. It's early here. I'm starting my day. Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure meeting you. Thank you for sharing your story and showing yourself so vulnerable as well. So we talk very soon.
Yes, thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.